fundamentally, you just want a roof over your head and you want access to all of those good things of life, like we mentioned earlier on. So in the case of house, you are going to lay your foundation, and depending on how big or how small the house will be, this foundation will be laid to fit the kind of house that you have in mind to build. It's the same thing in IT. In IT, somebody is going to lay the foundation of the house. But in IT, why we call this one home, in IT, we don't call it home, we call it solution or application. I keep saying all application so that it's actually called solution is more common, but just so that you know what we mean by solution. That's why I want to say. So the person who is going to lay this foundation for you, even if it's not a learned person, it's not like an architect who's gone through all of the actual specifications. He's going to ask you basic questions of how many bedroom, how many story building, how many rooms, where would you want this? Are you going to, he's going to ask you a lot of questions to be able to determine what kind of foundation should this be. Would it be enough to just lay the foundation right on bare ground, or would they need to go deep into the ground, lay concrete, and then put rods to make sure it's a solid foundation? All of those questioning. These other solutions architects would also ask you when it comes to building the infrastructure that the application will run on. So what I have to call this one a foundation, and then you begin to lay the blocks on top of that foundation until you get what you want. In this case, we call this one infrastructure, and then you begin to build other infrastructure like the lady mentioned, security, ownership, networking. You begin to build all of those other infrastructure on top of the foundational infrastructure, just like you build your plumbing, your wiring, your internet, your sewer, your your windows, your door, your frame. You see, building is not just the brick. It's a lot of things working together to form the complete home. So also a lot of things will work together here on top of the original infrastructure to form a base. What would all of this combination form a base for? It will form a base that provide solid roof where you can have everything that you need in your bedroom, everything you need in your toilet, everything you need in your living room. Even in future, as new technologies are being released, you have room to accommodate all of them so that you live a wonderful life. So also for this application, even things that may happen that are not necessarily happening now, you may want to make provision so that when they come to bear, this foundation is still able to carry them. So the person who is able to understand the infrastructure enough to know what and what to put together to carry this application is the solutions architect. There are many solutions, this solution, that, but the solutions architect. And that's essentially what you are training to become. You want to become solutions architect. So the person who goes into cloud and put all of the services and put services, tools, infrastructure, resources together in cloud to provide a secure, highly available, highly efficient infrastructure for the running of applications. Just like you are doing this to provide a secure, durable home that meets standard, so that what? So that you are now able to move in your property worth billions of dollars, for example, and you are rest assured that yes, this house will not collapse on you. It will even outlive the same way. So the builder, this person may be called builder, or sometimes maybe architect, there are engineers. There are so many people involved here, depending on the side of the building. But this guy is simply called cloud solutions architect. All right. So do you know the meaning of cloud solutions architect now? And what is expected of you at the end of this course? It is expected that you're able to go into cloud, for example, AWS, and then I tell you, Reginald, I want to build an application like Uber, like I'm doing. I'm actually building an application for commercial use. It's going to be, okay. So it is up to me now as a cloud solution. In fact, my developer, don't worry about that. But basically, I know what servers, what level of infrastructure, what level of tolerance, what level of high availability I need for my infrastructure to be able to host the application that I am developing. So that is your work. Somebody comes to you and says, I want this for my application. What do you think? You are the person who will now say, okay, for this one, you need 14 servers. You need each of the server must be so RAM capacity. It should never go down. For it not to go down, you must have another 28 servers on alert so that if anything happens, those ones take over. All of those details that you are going to learn one by one are the things that you bring to bear to design that infrastructure for that. application. All right, let's not emphasize that too much. You'll get a better picture as it is. But on the high level, that is what a cloud solution is. All right, any question now? All right, so what is the whole goal of architecting infrastructure in cloud? What do you want to do? Why would anyone want to go into cloud to set up servers, set up network, set up security, set up storage, set up database? What's the whole goal? What does he want to achieve with all of them?
To be able to manage applications and
to be able to run applications, correct. So that is where application must be to run. You don't develop applications and not put them in servers. So the whole goal is to accept that application and run those applications. And then after you have accepted the applications and you are running them, you should also be able to manage in terms of who is able to access what, when should they be up, when should all of those management. Your infrastructure, the infrastructure that you designed originally to be able to withstand all of those management. And that is where your knowledge of Linux comes in. All right, so that is it. That was just the overview. Now let's go into cloud and start to do stuff. Now, if you already know, let's go to AWS. So can you let me share my screen? Yes, screen. All right, you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is aws.amazon.com. You already know how to get here. In case you don't already have an account, you create your own account, all right? But since you were part of the other class, you now know how to create an account. So in this case, you look for where to log. So you sign into your account, you click that. In my own case, that is my email address that I used to create. I don't remember my password, so I just click that. You should remember, and then logs me. So this is cloud. All right. So last time we just went straight to creating EC2. No. So as cloud person, let's take a look around cloud first. The first thing you should see is this. There are so many services available in cloud. Look at them. So many services. One person cannot know everything in cloud. It's not possible. All right. So under analytics, there are so many services, there's basically service. So many services available. Under analytics, there's antenna, there's cloud search, there is this. Under application integration, look at all the services available, right? So if somebody says, I'm an expert in application integration using AWS, he probably is an expert in using all of these services, right? AR and VR, that's what's in really now, 3D, virtual reality, augmented reality, and so on and so forth. AWS cost management, blockchain, all right? Business application, compute, and so on and so forth. All of them, look at. However, at this level of cloud solutions architect, associate level, you are not expected to know everything because no one man can really know everything, right? But they are all there. Management and governance, machine learning, Internet of Things. Somebody was talking about writing certification in Linux, and I was saying there are more relevant and more modern technologies you can write certifications in and be relevant even for the next 15 years. Yeah, they are here, all right? So again, I'm just showing you this to know that these services are available in cloud.